Okay, we're going to try and do this quickly. Down and dirty on the 100s chart. Got to keep it short, so this is going to send through cell phone. I've been asked to model this, the 100s chart, words out. Lori doesn't love the 100s chart anymore. Actually, I do. It's just I've changed my mind on its purpose. It's not what Lori thinks, it's what research says. This is out of our OGAP research. This is out of the Van der Waal research. It's out of everything that you can put your hands on right now. And that the 100s chart will actually, if we're not careful, lay more misconceptions than it does good. It's a finite model. It doesn't show 0. It only goes to 100, so it's not great being able to transition past that century mark, and it doesn't show 0. So there's that number path part of it. It's not a true model of a number line. The other deal is the misconceptions that it lays in that we use it a lot for plus 10, minus 10. And I'm okay with that. If you think about it, that plus 10, minus 10, the kids are moving down 1 and saying that's plus 10. But physically, they're only moving down 1. Or minus 10, they're only moving up 1 position. Yes, we're showing and we're modeling that there are 10 between 15 and 25. But that's pushing on a count all model, which is actually pushing them down on the framework rather than building them up to more advanced strategies. So it's limited on addition and subtraction. What it is really great is showing the 10ness of our number system, showing the 10ness of 100, actually building the idea that 100 is a square number. It's a 10 by 10 array. That we alternate by 10s, and those colors are alternating, showing those decades. It helps kids cross that decade mark, which also becomes a problem in counting. But the danger in lies if certain textbooks will actually have grids you lay on top where it would highlight the number 25 and where they would fill in on a worksheet that 10 less is 15, 10 more is 35, 1 less is 24, 1 more is 26. But do you see what I just did? Every one of those was a physical move of 1. So it's not a truly, in this format, showing that move of 10. But positives of it, the patterns that we see, the increasing by a decade, increasing by 10 each time you go down a row. That within this row, the ones are all staying the same. The ones place remains in the same digit. To look for patterns that run diagonally, all those things for the kids to explore, to see patterns of numbers. That's powerful. That's good. We've just got to be careful about how we use it for an addition and subtraction model and know, hey, don't take them down, don't get rid of them, just be a smart user of them and be careful that you're not laying foundations for misconceptions that could end up following and biting them later on down the road. So what I specifically was asked to show that in this particular 100s chart, this is one that was created on a poster maker. I have the PDF to this. I can't mass produce it for you, but to go to Office Depot to send it to your career tech if they possibly have a poster maker. We have several systems that have done that. Laminate it, put magnets on the back, because our other thing that I think we get stuck with on the 100s chart where kids will get stuck here and not be able to get off is because we don't connect the models. And so it is a simple act of cutting this apart and making the actual move of creating this and showing the connection that a 100s chart is actually a number path that's been cut apart by 10s and stacked together to show the 10ness of 100. So that simple act for the kids to see, the move of that, and that this then becomes a transition for them to use the number line. The beauty of this is oftentimes kids are off by 1 anytime they use the number line. We say the number line's too confusing. I'm going to argue it's not the number line is confusing. It's just we're jumping way too far ahead and not dropping those breadcrumbs close together to connect these models for them to see. So if we connect this number path that is the 100s chart to a number line where all the tick marks are shown, then the kids will start being able to see that 1 is not this point on the line. 1 is the distance between 0 and 1. 2 is actually the distance between 0 and 2. 3 is the distance between 0 and 3. And so we can see that 3 actually includes that whole part. It's not just this spot on the number line. I hope that makes sense. The other part and the beautiful thing that can happen here, as you start unitizing with your children, you can go into using this to connect the model to a higher level. What does that make you think of? Hopefully that's a connection that you see for our base 10 blocks. So we can start seeing again the 10ness of the number, and the kids can still see that each one of these takes up space. They connect to it with concrete model where they're actually linking the cubes together, and we're again dropping those breadcrumbs a little closer together, leading to the base 10 blocks where they're not so abstract. The other connection here would be to take a 10 frame that our kindergarten and first graders are so used to using, and actually cut a 10 frame apart, tape it together vertically, and what do you have? You've got a path of 10, just like we see on the 100s chart. So all of those things linking back together to make sure we're building the bridges. Finally, I'll also show you that the children can actually make their own to have the experience. You give them a 100s chart, cut it apart. These are sentence strips that have been cut in half, and the kids glue down by 10s. I recommend, this is not my favorite one, I couldn't put my finger on the one that I love. My favorite way to do this is to actually color it the way that these 10s are colored alternately. Then I leave the 1 to 10 white, and then they color the next row red. Then this would be white, the next row would be red, and alternate it in that way. So when they glue it down, again, they're seeing that 10ness, and this is a model for addition and subtraction. What are we trying to push towards? Think about higher level mathematics. Math is linear. So we stay here, we're gonna get them stuck. But moving to this, we're pushing on that linear model and moving them towards the more abstract thinking and being able to think towards an open number line as we move them into higher level mathematics. Okay, I hope that helped. L.A. McGuire at una.edu. If you want any of these materials, I will be happy to share with you. And then you can figure out how to get these printed. Powerful tool here. I hope that helps for us to use these 100s charts wisely and to build better connections between these models so we don't lose our babies. Have a great session. I hope the rest of it goes well. Hope to see you soon.